is because, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a monumental victory today. We have had a monumental victory. And listen, I'm not even going to show that. No, that's not the one I want either. What is the one I want? This one. This is the one I want. This is the one I want. Texas State University Board of Regents on Thursday evening upheld the firing of Professor Tom Alter, affirming University President Kelly Damphouse's decision to dismiss him and revoke his tenure. Now, for those of you who have not been following along, this has been an ongoing saga since the beginning of September, in which it has been me and my community, you guys. It has been us versus the communists. And the communists have been putting up one hell of a fight on this one, but we won, they lost, and this is a really big deal. But I want to go back to the beginning. And I want to start off not with that. I want to start off with this. For anyone that was not around during the initial kerfuffle over Tom Alter losing his job, I want to make sure people know what actually happened, because again, this is a really big deal, and we are going to get to watching the House debating about communism today. But before we do that, I'm going to take a victory lap on this, because this is a really big effing deal, and I'm going to explain why. Yep, big win. If you appreciate the win that I'm about to give you, and you guys are about to understand just how big this win is, please send a super chat to show your gratitude. I worked real hard on this. I've been working hard on this for months. I've been working hard. No one was helping me. No one at all. No, actually, you know what? I don't even want to get into that rant. I'm gonna do that rant in a second. Don't worry. But first, I just want to remind everyone what happened. At the beginning of September, we infiltrated this conference called the Revolutionary Socialism Conference. This was a completely virtual conference, and so we got to record everything. Thank you, CB. Carlin rules, commies drool. So true. So true. Now, we have a lot of crazy things on video from this conference, and I still haven't even begun to release clips from this conference, just because we've had so many different clip events lately that it's just been like, over the past couple of months, we have infiltrated so many events. We've gone undercover in person. There's so much content to catch up on, like seriously. But the most important clip I got from this conference was this. This is Professor Tom Alter speaking at the conference, literally calling to overthrow the government.
My name is Tom Alter. I'm a member of Socialist Horizon.
Recording in progress.
I'll say it again. My name is Tom Alter. I'm a member of Socialist Horizon in San Marcos, Texas, and also a member of the Texas State Employees Union, affiliated with the CWA. As anarchists, these insurrectionists explicitly reject the formation of a revolutionary party capable of leading the working class to power. Without organization, how can anyone expect to overthrow the most bloodthirsty, profit-driven, mad organization in the history of the world, that of the U.S. government?
2 minutes, comrade.
Thank you. As Steve mentioned, a revolutionary party needs a revolutionary situation for the working class to win power. We are not in that situation now, though it may be coming soon, as the crisis of capitalism only continues to deepen and capitalists look to war and fascism to save their profit system. If we do not build a revolutionary party now, this is surely our future. What we do now is incredibly important. We must educate ourselves and others in Marxism and the history of class struggle. We are by no means just a reading club. Our tasks are laid out in the Communist Manifesto. We must participate in the struggles of our class, whatever they may be, from joining union picket lines to defending trans people. And then, as communists, connect these numerous struggles of our class into a fight against the source of our oppression, capitalism. Through struggle, we can win reforms along the way, giving confidence to our class. This is how we build a mass party. Reforms are not enough, though. If the working class is not in power, those reforms can be lost, as we have seen in recent times. We must build a revolutionary socialist party now so that when a revolutionary situation arises, the working class has the tools and organization it needs to take power, to conclude, have confidence, build workers' power, be a firebrand for a socialist horizon. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, comrade, and excellent timing.
Hey, Tom. Is it true that Texas State trains the most public school teachers in the country? I remember that stat circling around like a couple years ago when Texas State was getting all like the shit that it always gets for being like like the lesser school in Texas.
Yeah,
I remember somebody saying, yeah, exactly. But I remember somebody saying, I remember like that getting circulated around that it like trains like the most public sector teachers in the country.
That it definitely is for Texas, because that's what it was started as a teacher school. Actually, that's what Lyndon Johnson went here.
Yeah.
I can't wait till the day when we tear down the Lyndon Johnson statue on campus as
Hell
well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then Texas State's grown. It's now like the 19th largest school campus in the country. So that would kind of make sense that it could be in training for teachers in the country. So I haven't actually heard that, and they usually do kind of trumpet those statistics when it is. But we do a lot. That's most of my students as well. They're a lot of them are education majors. So
history education. Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
So that is the video that got Tom Alter fired. And the thing of it is, they like to say that I clipped that out of context. But the thing is that I actually released the full remarks that Tom made on my Substack. But we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that for a moment. After I released that video on the internet, it's one of the weirdest things in the world, right? Because my community, we are so used to nothing happening when we find a communist calling to overthrow the government. We are so used to literally no one caring every single time we find a video like this, because this is not even the first video we found like this. We have found so many videos of communists literally calling for the overthrow of the government, and we put them out there and no one ever cares. And in the case of this video, this is the video that I sent to Harmeet Dillon literally the day before Charlie Kirk got shot. And I said, Harmeet, I have this video of them calling to overthrow the government. Harmeet, of course, is the Assistant Attorney General of the United States. I sent it to her directly, and she said, meh, literally. And I said, Harmeet, why aren't you interested in a video of communists calling to overthrow the government? And Harmeet was more concerned about my use of capital letters regarding the term overthrowing the government. And she said, Carlin, I just don't find those capital letters to be very convincing. And so in this case, I really didn't expect anything to happen with this video, because I had hand-delivered this to the Assistant Attorney General of the United States, who could have called up the FBI on the phone. She could have called Kash Patel on the phone and said, why aren't you going to arrest this communist motherfucker? But Harmeet Dillon instead decided to criticize my use of capital letters on the term overthrowing the government, which of course was all the indication we needed that Harmeet Dillon ain't going to do anything to help any of us out. I don't care what Harmeet tweets. I don't care what she says on Fox News. That woman is going to do nothing. It's nothing more than a PR campaign. That is all she's capable of. But anyway, listen, we didn't expect anything to happen with this. We didn't. I called Ted Cruz's office. I called Greg Abbott's office. I called Ken Paxton's office. I called Chip Roy's office. I called every Republican that I could think of in the state of Texas going, hey guys, I have a video of a Texas State University professor calling to overthrow the government. Do you guys maybe want to do something about that? And Ted Cruz's office flat out told me they weren't interested. And then when I put out on Twitter that Ted Cruz's office told me they weren't interested, they called me back and they said, Carlin, we're going to form a committee to maybe think about releasing a statement. I never heard back from Greg Abbott. I never heard back from Ken Paxton. I called them multiple times. And so again, like there were literally zero Republican politicians and conservative influencers who cared about a Texas State University faculty member literally calling for the communist overthrow of the government. And then we also had him on video saying, education majors are the majority of my students. And it's like no Republican thought that there was anything wrong with this, apparently. So we really didn't think anything was going to happen. And then we got the attention of one independent news website in the state of Texas. And that news website happens to have a lot of fucking followers in the state of Texas. And they started making a big deal about it. And then the clips started going viral. And it ended up getting covered in the New York Post, among many, 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 many other places. You can't even see my screen right now. There it is. There it was in the New York Post. Literally the day I was going undercover at the, by the way, this was in the New York Post the day before I went undercover at the New York Anarchist Book Fair. So I was literally in New York City when this came out in the New York Post, which was actually just kind of an amazing coincidence. But I'd already moved on to the next thing. And you can also see here, this is the actual article from the New York Post. It's got a great screenshot of me, man. It's got a great screenshot of me. That went really well. So when this went viral on the internet, Texas State University, shockingly, again, we never expect anything to happen with my work. Shockingly, Texas State University did the right thing, and they fired Tom Alter because he was literally on video calling to overthrow the government. Well, let me tell you, the socialists did not like that at all. And the socialists formed an entire committee. They literally formed an organization around getting Tom Alter his job back, because this was a big deal, guys. This was a tenured faculty member who was fired from his job basically for communist organizing. And so this was a big deal. This either sets the precedent for, yes, we can fire college professors for being communists calling to overthrow the government, or no, we can't fire college professors for being communist and calling to overthrow the government. So the socialists, they got their asses in gear, and they did all sorts of events, and they had all this stuff. Look, they formed a whole website. They have a whole organization around this. They're doing all this campaigning. They're having all these rallies and presentations. Our favorite presentation, of course, is when Haymarket Books, of course, is the largest socialist book publisher in the United States. Haymarket Books organized a presentation in which 3 different communists that I have recorded on 3 different occasions, all of which have called to overthrow the government, they all cried about me for 90 minutes. Okay? So I really want people to get the sense this isn't the only thing that happened, because after Tom Alter got fired, with this new committee to get him reelected, what they are reinstated rather, what they actually did is they took this to court. The committee to defend Tom Alter sued Texas State University, and they took this to court, and the court actually overturned his firing. So there was a brief moment where Tom Alter was actually reinstated after we got him fired the first time. And so then the president of the university decided to fire him again, because apparently it was some procedural issue or something like that. So they reinstated him, and then they fired him again. And then the committee to defend Tom Alter appealed that firing again. So this was a back and forth. This has been going on for months. There have been rallies, there have been presentations, there have been emails, there have been all sorts of things. Look at this. Look at this. Here's this. This is their action network. They got over 3,600 signatures collected on this petition. They had all these people emailing the president of Texas State University. Look at this. The Labor and Working Class History Association. They had all these labor unions that were doing this. The Texas State Employees Union. They had all this stuff. They were having rallies for him. This is the Higher Education Labor United. This is one of the main higher ed labor unions. They were doing all this stuff, defend Tom Alter, free speech. Even the Tempest Collective. I didn't even know about this until today when I started searching for it. I didn't know the Tempest Collective covered this. Guys, the Tempest Collective is watching me. I've been watching the Tempest Collective for years, but obviously the Tempest Collective is paying attention to me. They are a really far left revolutionary socialist organization. We've covered them many, many, many times. But even still, with thousands of communists versus us, I rallied my community And we all started emailing the president of Texas State University. And I don't know, I heard from a ton of people that they did this. I got a ton. I mean, like definitely hundreds. I think I got into the thousands of people emailing the president of Texas State University just because of how many people I had. I had so many of you, and I really want to thank everyone that did this. I want to thank everyone that sent an email to the president of Texas State University saying, you need to make sure this guy stays fired. I want to thank everyone who went out and asked your friends to email, because I know that many of you didn't just do it yourself. You also went out and you asked your friends to email. So we fought back. The communists were all coming for us. The Republican politicians and conservative influencers weren't doing anything. Literally, again, even at this stage, this is a fight for a precedent. I really want to emphasize how important this is and how much your Republican politicians and your conservative influencers completely failed you in this regard. Had Tom Alter gotten reinstated to this job, that would have literally set the precedent that a publicly funded state university could not fire a communist calling to overthrow the government. I want to say this again. If Tom Alter had won, it would have set the precedent that at a state-funded, taxpayer-funded university, a college professor could literally call for the overthrow of the United States government and be organizing communist activism on college campuses, and there wasn't shit anyone could do about it. It would have set a completely horrible precedent that would have laid the groundwork for communists to really come out of the closet and say, oh, we can't get fired for calling to overthrow the government because it's a free speech issue. And I was hammering on this. And again, 0 Republican politicians spoke out against Tom Halter being rehired. 0 conservative influencers promoted this issue or asked their audiences to send an email to the president of Texas State University to affirm, we want the communists fired. 0 other people were doing this. It was my community and me versus them, and they were all coming at us, and they had all these organizations that were rallying and doing all these petitions and doing all these organizing things, and all we had was me and my chat emailing everyone and their mother saying, do not do this. And we won. And we won. And I want to make a point on this and say it wasn't just me, it was all of us, because all of us worked together, and we didn't let the fact that the conservative influencers and the politicians were completely ignoring the whole thing. We don't need them. We won. And I want to emphasize what a big deal this is. I am certainly feeling very queen-like today, and I'm going to tell you why. As Victor and I were driving to Boston, I was thinking about this whole thing, and I was like, getting a professor who has tenure fired, getting a professor's tenure revoked, and getting them fired from their job for being a communist, calling to overthrow the government, has that actually happened recently? And I was really thinking about this. I was like, has anyone gotten a college professor fired recently for being a communist? Has anyone actually gotten a college professor's tenure revoked for being a communist? And so I put this out there. I was like, am I the first person to get a communist college professor's tenure revoked? Because I don't know, man. I don't know. That kind of seems like a big deal to me. Cynthia, thank you again for the gifted channel memberships, my dear. Congratulations to everyone who got a gifted channel membership from Cynthia. Really, really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. And it turns out, guys, that according to Grok, I am actually the first person to get a communist college professor's tenure revoked since the McCarthy era. Literally, that's what it said. While tenure revocations for political speech remain rare in modern U.S. higher education, often challenged under the First Amendment protections, this case echoes McCarthy-era purges of suspected communists, but appears unprecedented in recent decades for explicitly targeting advocacy of revolutionary socialism. And then I was like, okay, hang on. We don't just want to use Grok, because I don't actually think Grok is all that good. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, ChatGPT, hang on, let me make this bigger. ChatGPT. This week, now former Texas State University professor Tom Alter had his tenure officially revoked by the Board of Regents for being a communist calling to overthrow the government. Has that happened before in modern times? And ChatGPT said, yes, there are precedents in modern U.S. higher education history for tenured faculty members being dismissed or otherwise challenged on grounds that involved communist affiliation or subversive speech. Here are a few examples. Then it just kind of goes over the Tom Alter stuff. We've already looked at that. And then historical precedents. Yes, there are documented examples, especially during the mid-20th century or Red Scare, when professors were dismissed or tenure was denied because of communist affiliations or subversions. They've got 1949, they've got the 1950s. How the Alter case compares. Similarity, the trigger is political expression tied to socialist and communist ideology, and the institution revoked tenure or dismissed a faculty member on that basis. The difference. The older cases often occurred in a different legal regulatory environment and under investigations of subversion or loyalty oath. The modern case of Tom Alter involves a public university, free speech arguments, tenure protections, and a claimed call for overthrowing the government. Uniqueness. In the recent era, post-70s, it is relatively rare for a public university to revocably terminate tenured faculty over political speech of this kind. Many cases of tenure denial rather than post-tenure revocation, and they settle rather than going through the full Board of Regents. Also, the context for calling to overthrow the government raises different legal and constitutional questions, speech versus incitement, rather than merely party affiliation. Conclusion. So yes, there have been recent precedents, especially during the mid-20th century, of tenured or long-term faculty being dismissed for communist left subversive speech or affiliation. But the Tom Alter case appears to stand out in the current era for several reasons. And then it basically says, you can dig up some more stuff. But essentially, this is confirming what Grog told me. Guys, I am the first person. We are the first people to get a communist college professor's tenure revoked since the McCarthy era for being a communist. This is a really big deal. This is going to go into the history books. And I promise you, this will not be the last one. Because now we really got to make sure we get into the history books. This is a new era of McCarthyism led by me, because the Republican politicians have completely abdicated all responsibility in this matter. They abdicated it completely. Harmeet Dillon, the Assistant Attorney General of the United States, told me she cared more about my use of capital letters than she did in dealing with this communist. So I did it. And we did it. We all worked together to make sure this guy got fired. And it is the first time since the McCarthy era that something like this has happened. And guys, I cannot adequately express how difficult it is to get tenure revoked. I am literally shocked that this actually held up. I really did. I wasn't even really talking about that this much because I thought he was going to get his job back. But we won. We won. We made history with this. And, listen, I think that we need to do some celebrating. Because I was working against all sorts of lefty outlets, like the Chronicle for Higher Education, who were saying to me, well, didn't you just clip him out of context? And this is the argument that they've been making. Carlin clipped him out of context. He really didn't mean it. Okay. Bluff called motherfuckers. Because tomorrow, I have made the decision that in order to celebrate this momentous occasion, tomorrow on Socialism Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we are doing a special episode in which we are going to watch the entire presentation that Tom Alter made this comment in. We are going to watch the presentation from start to finish. I have not shown this full presentation publicly yet. I have released a lot of clips. There's a lot of golden nuggets in this presentation. There's a ton of stuff. You guys want to accuse me of taking something out of context? I will play the entire fucking video, motherfuckers, and I will show people exactly what he said. And maybe we'll watch some other stuff from this conference too. I still have all of the presentations from this conference in their full form recorded, because of course I do. So that is going to be tomorrow for Socialism Saturday, and that's what we're going to do. And they can cry all they want about it. We won, they lost. Average person, what we thought was an inconsequential event turned out to be a historical moment in the rise of McCarlanism. Yes. Our McCarthy crusade, our modern day McCarthyism is on the rise, guys. Thank you, Donnie Girl, for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. And I really want to emphasize what Average Person just said. Literally no one in my community, including me, thought this was going to be a big deal when it happened. Because we're so used to putting stuff out like this, and we're so used to it getting ignored, that we just really didn't think anything was going to happen. Well, we were wrong. We literally made history, guys. We literally made history. We made history with the first tenure revocation of a college professor for being a communist and calling to overthrow the government since the McCarthy era. And we thought it was just another infiltration. We thought it was just another stream. How cool is that? So I wanted to do one more special surprise before tomorrow. And I know you guys have been asking for a McCarlanism t-shirt. I know, but I've been really busy with other stuff, okay? But I'll do you a solid. I'm going to do you a solid, okay? To celebrate the firing of Tom Alter and this momentous occasion, I'm gonna do some capitalism. You guys want to do some capitalism with me? Let's do some capitalism, guys, because in the Red Menace Supply Company, which is redmenacesupply.com, I'm putting it in the chat right now. This is my merchandise store. And thank you, Angry Gringo, over on Rumble for the super chat. More munitions to our dear leader's war chest. I appreciate it. I am doing a special sale to, that should say 25%. Hang on. That should say 25%. Hang on 1 second. That's a typo. I'm going to fix it. Hang on. We're going to do this right. I literally just set this up right before the stream. So pardon the typo. I'm going to fix it. I'm not giving you 2% off. I'm giving you 25% off. The discount code works for 25%. We're going to make sure this is correct. Hang on. 25% off. Wait. Reload. Boom. There we go. That's better. We are doing 25% off the McCarthy series, ladies and gentlemen. That includes the Are You an Anti-Communist McCarthy shirt that I wore on my last Fox News appearance. I'm literally wearing it now. It is one of my favorite shirts. You've also got the McCarthy is Right series, where we have 5 different options for McCarthy was right, and you can pick out whatever one you like the most. Click into the design and you can see what it comes on. T-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, tank tops. We got some hoodies. We got some sticker packs. We got all sorts of cool stuff in there. Shot glasses sometimes when I do those. If you want it on any other merch, you can let me know and I will put it on other merch that you guys want. All of these designs are 25% off through the end of November to celebrate our epic resurgence of the McCarthy era. We are ushering it in. No one else is doing shit. I think we're going to see that pretty clearly today, unironically. It's us versus them, and we cannot rely on anyone. So we got to do it ourselves. And that's just the way it goes. Again, that is redmenacesupply.com, and you can get that merch along with any other merch you want. We are going to be doing a special Christmas sale this year. So not yet, but we will be doing a Christmas edition as well with some limited edition stuff. Tayton, thank you. So are you telling me a magatard has never gotten a tenure professor fired? Seems like one is a grifter and the other is authentic. It's a double win. Yeah. Are you guys telling me that Enrique Tarrio has never gotten a tenure college professor fired? Are you telling me that Chad Canton has never gotten a college professor fired? Are you telling me that all those idiots who tried to say I was a secret leftist have never gotten a tenured college professor fired? Oh, imagine my shock. imagine my shock and amazement at that. So guys, if you appreciate the work I do and you want to support it, the very best way, in addition to buying that merch, is to head over to my Substack. That is Carlyn, KARLYN.substack.com, and you can sign up for a membership, $8 a month, $80 a year. We did a bunch of spy streams this week. We got Ilhan Omar on video yesterday calling for a boycott of any organization that wants to work with ICE and that sort of thing. And if you want to support that type of work, feel free to sign up for the Substack. Send in a super chat, whatever you guys want to do. And it's all good, man. It's